Hi everybody, my name is Larika Dublin. I'll be talking to you about intramuscular or IM injections. The CDC and World Health Organization are two organizations that I think will be interested in this topic. Usually good outcomes come from IM injections when they are given correctly. IM injections are given to infants all the way up to the elderly. The first article I chose is called Evidence Calls for Practice Change in Intramuscular Injection Methods. The purpose of this study was to find current evidence-based practices that use gender, weight, and injection site to determine the needle length and technique. 206 healthcare providers participated in the survey. Almost half of those never considered gender when choosing the needle length and using specific technique. About 2/3 of those considered height and weight when given injections. Research is needed, more research is needed to help determine easier ways to find the specific needle size and length of various people of different heights and weights. The next article I chose is called Blood Aspiration During Intramuscular Injection. The purpose of this study was to decide whether or not intramuscular injections need to be aspirated, and if so, is it really necessary? This was a descriptive design. It used surveys, and 164 registered nurses participated in the research. 48% of those aspirated every time, and 26% of those reported to aspirate 90% of the time. This article suggested to aspirate when only giving a specific medication that could potentially cause harm if it was accidentally given intravenously. Further research is needed in this research to design a systematic decision-making process that makes it easier for clinicians to decide whether or not the injection needs to be aspirated. The last article I chose is called Intramuscular Injection Technique, Evidence-Based Approach. The purpose of this study was to address safe injection procedure practice and to determine methods to minimize the risks that are associated with IM injections. Ventrogluteal is the site preferred over dorsogluteal because the dorsogluteal site has the sciatic nerve and major blood vessels that are near it. All IM injections should be given dart-like at a 90-degree angle. 1 ml per second should be given, and unless otherwise noted by the medication packet. The Z-track method is the preferred technique when giving intramuscular injections excluding vaccines. Smaller volumes are associated with better absorption rates. The ventrogluteal site has the greatest thickness of muscle and is free of nerves and has a narrow layer of fat. The current recommendations based on those three articles are to use the deltoid for smaller volumes, and the deltoid is the preferred site for immunizations in older children. The vastus lateralis and rectus femoris you can give injections up to 5 mL in those sites in adults. In summary, the first article talked about the need to use the patient's weight, gender, and height to determine the appropriate needle length and size. The second article talked about using your nursing judgment to determine whether or not the intramuscular injection needs to be aspirated. And the third article talked about the best sites for different volumes and the risk associated with giving intramuscular injection. In conclusion, the progression of evidence for this topic has come a long way, but I feel as though it still needs a lot more research. Most importantly, research is needed on figuring out whether or not aspiration is needed, and finding a way to determine the specific needle length and size for people of various heights, weights, and genders. That will be all. Thank you.